And close game underway so far. We'll see if either of these teams can jump out ahead in this second quarter. And looking at what we've seen from the Trailblazers, what do you guys think?
Yeah, showing grit on the glass is a good way to gain an advantage. They controlled the boards in the first.
They clearly wanted to be the more physical team, and they are setting the tone that way. I love the work.
And it's Indiana's ball. We've got LaMarcus Aldridge. And it's Porter in at the point. That's the group for Portland starting the second. And the upcoming schedule for Indiana. On Friday, they'll be playing the Bucks in Milwaukee. And then on Sunday, they'll face off against Anthony Davis and the Washington Wizards.
And looking at the Toronto matchup, it's the second game of a back-to-back. So you know there'll be some heavy legs out there. Playing that much basketball in that short amount of time really takes its toll on your body.
Furphy's checked in for Shepherd. Here's Furphy, and the whistle on the shot. Got some contact there. Misses the shot, but he'll shoot two.
I don't mind that. I mean, they met him at the rim and temporarily prevented the points.
Indiana shooting their first free throws of this game. And Legs, one thing we're seeing more of these days, head coaches who weren't necessarily high-profile guys coming in.
Well, I do think when you walk into a locker room having played before, there is a level of credibility that's automatically there. But in the age of analytics, it's probably less important that a head coach be a former NBA player.
Here's our test. Following the bucket by the Blazers. No good with the triple.
And the defense got away with one there. I mean, that's a shot he typically makes.
Over to the left wing. Here's Wicks. It's rebounded by Indiana. With the drive, Furphy on easy two on the layup.
That's just a smart play right there. The right pass to a ready shooter.
And it's Porter with the ball for Portland. There's the block. They recover it. Denny Obvious checked in for Portland. Second quarter here, just over a minute and a half played. On the take. Wicks with a bucket. Wicks has got 4 points now in the quarter.
Well, he's done everything you want offensively. Great shot selection, and he is a big reason why they have the lead.
Here's Granger. And Walton pulls it down. Walton's got his 7th rebound here tonight.
Gotta love how they've been crashing the boards, fighting hard for every miss.
Pass to our test.
Trailblazers foul. Terry Porter. First personal foul. Second team foul.
Quarter two and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Back to Daniels. Some nice passing by Indiana here. Here's Granger. His 4th make in 5 tries. Solid start for him.
Yeah, he had a size advantage right there, and he took advantage of it.
The Trailblazers have gotten just 2 of 6 field goals to go in the second. All right, let's get a report from Allie.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, the Pacers are moving as one. Coach Rick Carlisle said the thing I love about this team is that we're a true team. We're a group that needs each other. We work at communication. We're collaborative. We make sure our guys have a voice, and we're all in it together. Back to you.
They win by committee. Thank you very much for the report, Allie. All right, guys, some stats here. The scoring breakdown for the Trailblazers.
Well, guys, early on, they're driving the lane constantly, using their quickness to gain an advantage. Look at their points off penetration.
And what a great job they have done sharing the ball. This is what team basketball looks like, and I love to see it.
Paul George, he's checked in for Indiana. Ranger passes to George. And he misses the go-ahead basket. Portland leading. Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Here's Avdia. Indiana with a rebound. Legs, when you look at the maturation of Denny Avdia, just how good you think he can be.
Well, Brian, he is living up to being a top 10 pick. He has an all-around game, and more than anything, it's the force that he plays with. He is proving to be a real difference maker.
And so timeout called by Chauncey Billups here. I think right now he might be looking at some adjustments. And over the last 10 games, these players have been gobbling up the most rebounds. For Portland, they've gotten 5 of 8 attempts to drop since the second began. 13 feet out. It's wide right, hits off the rim.
I know he's on a cold streak, but he can't let that get in his head.
If he can just make a couple of buckets, though, this can all be put in his rearview mirror.
These teams just feeling each other out.
Yeah, I love the spirit out there. Already 6 lead exchanges.
Here's McGinnis. They look to him to score consistently, averaging around 13.5 a game.
What he might lack in height at the 4 spot, he makes up for it with his burst.
Boy, can't get it to go. The Pacers have gotten 4 of 8 shots to drop in the second. Here's our test. Still without a bucket. Here's McGinnis, and Walton pulls it down. Walton's got 9 rebounds in the game. Boy, he's getting it done. Porter finds Avdia. It's rebounded by Indiana. George passes to Daniels. Here's Artest. Connects from downtown. Artest has gotten himself going with a triple. His first basket of the game. Blazers trail by 4. Pass to Wicks. And here's Avdia. Right at the free throw line. Takes a big high bounce and goes in.
Nice job to recognize the lack of D in that medium range area.
Here's Person. McGinnis, the pass to Person. Here's Artest. Looking at his stats, he's putting up about 7.5 per game. McGinnis, no good. Here's Avdia. Laid it in with a nice touch off the window. Avdia's got 6 points.
I love this game plan. That's 10 points in a row from in close.
And timeout called by Rick Carlisle. He's going to talk it over with his guys. Aldridge is checked in for Portland. Lillard comes in for Porter Jr. Three-pointer, Haliburton. And Walton pulls it down.
Yeah, no, he usually makes you pay from that range.
Haliburton against Lillard. Here's Roy. A chance there to take the lead, but a miss. And so it's Haliburton with it. He brings it up for the Indiana Pacers. All sorts of time. And the basket by McGinnis. Give him 8.
That's been typical of their performance today. They're sharing the ball and creating good shots.
Count that bucket.
They have no answer defensively inside.
Indiana's gone 1 for 3 from downtown here in the second. Here's Person, defended by Avdia. Just 5 to shoot. Haliburton. It's good from the top of the key. Haliburton's got his second bucket on the night.
Easy look when the defender isn't fighting over the screen.
Yeah, and that's the effectiveness of the two-man game right there.
Now here's George. He had a 24-point outing in their last game against Orlando.
And just unable to get anything going tonight. I mean, his teammates have really bailed him out.
And that one comes up a bit short. The Pacers have gotten 7 of 15 shots here in the second quarter. And the basket by Haliburton.
This is a shot Haliburton's developed, the mid-range jumper.
Here's Lillard. Oh, Lillard shrugs off the contact.
They're finding ways to get the ball into the paint. 5 consecutive buckets.
It's George on the wing. Here's McGinnis. He's covered by Aldridge. Plenty of daylight on that shot. George has got 5.
That's a beautiful stroke that time by Paul George. If he gets a look from beyond the arc, he is really dangerous.
For 3, here's Lillard. Hey, shooting the ball well. He's 5 for 9 in the game. Indiana has gone 2 of 4 from the perimeter in the second so far. Ooh, took him no time at all to get that one. Person's got his second basket of the game.
You like how their perimeter game is building out. They're feeling it right now.
Lillard with the bucket.
And their offensive game plan is clear. Get it inside and go to work.
They set the pick. For 3, George. Avdia pulls it in.
And he almost made them regret defending him so loosely.
Pass to Aldridge. And the rebound goes to the Pacers.
And their free throws have dropped off in this quarter. They're settling for too many jump shots right now.
Look at that touch by Paul George.
Blazers trail by 5. Here's Avdia. That shot off. Great D that time from Zubac. Here's Haliburton. Tipped. And that'll be Indiana's ball as it goes out of bounds. Pacers able to keep the possession. And timeout called by Rick Carlisle. He's going to gather the troops and talk it over. Indiana making a switch here. Blazers on D. Yes, it's good. Haliburton's got 9.
He's turned it on here in the second quarter, getting his offensive game on track.
Pass to Roy. Oh, George with a steal. And George with the jam.
Well, he's got great length for a wing. At 6'8", he can just get to the rim whenever he wants.
Roy, and it's good. Off the back rim and in. 11 points in the game. And so it's Indiana with it. Haliburton, the pass to Nedelicki. George outside. Drops in the 3. And the Pacers lead by 10.
Was starting to stretch the floor. That's 2 triples for him this quarter.
Here's Lillard. Lillard goes up strong inside.
And he is doing everything he can to keep his team in it, trying to lift his teammates up.
Pass to George. Here's the floater, and he sinks the layup.
The shots are falling, and he is making it look easy.
Now here's Avdia. 6 points for him. Here's Roy. Fires from deep. Ooh, nice D from George. Paul George, he's feeling it tonight. He's been the driving force for Indiana. He made a big impact, scoring 12 points in the quarter. Time for a quick break, then back to the action.